and nominal interest rates. So the first question at C1 said, please transfer an effective rate of 12% to a nominal interest rate that was compounded quarterly. Now remember, the number that the bank manager gives you is the nominal rate. So that's what I want, the nominal rate. If in effect, after doing it quarterly, it's 12%. So you must just read carefully what's the given one and what's the question. So I want to take effective to nominal. First of all, you don't get the marks if you don't have the correct formula. So effective was 12%, so I write 0.12. I need the nominal one, but then that M part is the thing that we're actually looking at. And it didn't say anything about how long you're going to make this investment or loan or whatever this was. It just says that it was compounded quarterly, whether it was for 6 months, 2 years, 20 years, it doesn't matter. This M, both of them, has to be, so again, 4. The same. I thought you said 6.
No.
The same. Alright, so the same because it's 4 times in 1 year, even if I don't put it in there for 1 year. Just 6 months or 4 months, doesn't matter. That M represents how many times in 1 year it would be done. Right, so then it's just a matter of going to work out this answer. It's nominal that I want. So first of all, you'll have to plus and get 1,12. I don't write it. After that, I first do the rooted by 4 equals minus with 1 equals times by 4. It's important, otherwise your calculator will time before it subtracts, because that's order of operations. You've got to tell it to first do the root, get the answer equals, say minus 1, get the answer equals, and then times with 4, get the answer for I nominal then, which would be
0,11494.
okay, so that my R nominal would be 11,49%, and I know that that is per year, per annum, but it's compounded quarterly. Now you don't have to write all of that there. I just wanted the answer to be 11,49, but so that you know, nominal is always per annum, and then I have to say how it was compounded. In effect, you get a little bit more, which was true here. Then the very seldomly asked one, but I have to show it to you because there is the long way that we did yesterday, and then we've got a shortcut way that I wanted you to do the homework sum in. If you take a 10,75% compounded monthly and you want to put it into compounded quarterly, what am I talking about? Is it nominal or is it effective? That 10,75% compounded monthly is nominal. The number that the bank manager gave me is 10,75%. It gives it to me 10,75% per year, but it's compounded monthly. So you can go and get the effective one. Take the effective one and take it back to nominal again, compounded quarterly. Or you can do it the way I showed you yesterday by saying, this is the compounded monthly one, and this is going to be the compounded quarterly. Then we're not going to take the whole expression, the whole formula. We're just going to say, well, both of them have to get to the same effect. Because the bank manager is not changing his mind and giving you more and less money. It's just the way that it's put together that changes. So this piece has to be equal to the other one because the effective one has to be the same. In effect, it has to work out the same. So let's see. Compounded monthly would be 1 plus I nominal. We're writing the step that looks like I'm writing the same thing twice, and it's true I am. But then I now know that by monthly the M must be substituted with a 12, and with quarterly it must be substituted with a 4. So that in my equation, which one do I have though? The nominal one for compounded monthly. So I know that this is 0,1075, 1 plus. Otherwise I might have missed that, and then I've got 2 variables. It was the nominal one, compounded monthly that was given to me, and I need to find the nominal one compounded quarterly. Then I will go and work out my nominal rate. And you don't have to show me any steps. You only have to show me the actual answer. So, first of all, we type in, as it is there, to the power of, and then what do? Fourth root equals. Minus 1 equals. Times 4 equals, and the answer is
0.108465.
okay. Then I've got enough to go round off there. It's going to be 10,85, which would be my R nominal. Right, so this is per annum, but compounded quarterly. So remember, the bank manager is not changing his mind. In effect, he wants the same effect. So whether he gives it to you monthly or quarterly, it's still going to be the same effectiveness. You are going to work it out 10.85% nominal if it's done quarterly, but it was 10.75%, which is a difference of 1, if it's done monthly, if that is the question. Okay, so we have done interest on a basic principal amount, and then if you did the interest either with straight line method or with an increased balance, but what's going on the board now? It's changed. What's changed? That used to always be a plus, and this also. And this was simple interest, and this was compound interest. So it stays exactly the same, but the minus causes the principal amount to reduce so that the accumulated amount will be less. So typical example of that is, like exercise 3, number 8 says, if Mavis bought a new car for 280,000, the value of the car depreciates at 18%. Have you heard things like that?
Yes.
Right? Things depreciate. The moment that you drive that car out of the parking lot there by Volkswagen, it's already depreciated. Right? So she bought the car for 280,000. It has a depreciation percentage. So it's still percentage, the same as with the increasing, but now with decreasing. And with the straight line method, what will be the value of the car after 3 years now? What will be the value of the car after 3 years? So what is the 280,000? That's your principal amount. And your final amount should be less than that. That's what I'm trying to find out. They told me that it was done for 3 years. Okay, but man, just wait a second. Is it always years? But now they've said it's done on the straight line depreciation or straight line method, something of a straight line. How come? Just like with simple interest, it grew in a straight line, do you remember? This will now be a car doing that. There's the 280,000 and it will depreciate, which in essence is not quite true. Because according to my sketch, the value of that car will come, which in worst cases is never true, because you can always get some scrap or sell the steering wheel or something. It's never going to be absolutely zero. Are you with me? So the same thing with the reduced balance. We used to call this increasing balance method. Are you with me? So it's interest upon interest. So you started off with something and it's increasing and then it gets up to speed. So with a reduced balance, it's going to start somewhere and then reduce, not so much in the beginning and then again catch up with some speed. And again, I don't want to go actually to the zero because in actual fact it's never quite true. Okay, so now the two words that you must learn from that is straight line depreciation or the straight line method would mean then it's the simple interest. And reduced balance, or it's not really another word that they use for it, but it would have been increased balance if it was a plus sum. That means that the principal value will grow into a bigger amount. Growing is plus, depleting or depreciating is a minus. Do you see the effect of that plus and that minus? So when you start off with the sum and you write your formula with a plus, it's going to be wrong. Now, which one of the two is it? Because the sum said with the straight line method. That says you must use simple interest. If you use the incorrect one, you get no marks. Alright, but just like always. So it was 280,000 to start with. The sums are easy peasy. The interest rate that they told me about was 18%. You with me? But will this now put this with this maybe also be per month and per quarter or whatever? Never. Whenever you're doing depreciation, it'll always be yearly. It'll never be monthly, quarterly, etc. So it's actually easier. So then N will be 3 years, and that'll be per year. But it's always hand in hand. So in my formula, I've got 0,18, and my N is 3, the easiest of easies. And how much worth is a car after that amount of time?
128
1
to 8,000.
Okay, so after 3 years, the car is less than half what it used to be.
800, sorry.
Like that. 128,800. So that's what her car has been reduced to. Who says? I don't know who thought about that 18%, but somehow the salesmen and the economists said that that is the rate of reduction. Okay, so obviously I want to do one with a reducing balance. Let's have a look at number C that says, whoever Innerton brought a printer for 4,500 Rand and it sold 3 years later for 1,200 Rand. What was the annual rate of depreciation? I don't think you could have missed that this is a depreciation sum. If it is done in the reducing balance method, the second one. So first of all, you need to know that your formula has to be the reducing balance, which is going to be minus, but it's going to be compound interest, not simple interest. There's your catch, knowing which one to use. Because it's reducing balance or increasing balance if it was plus sum, right? So he bought the printer for 4,500 and he's selling it for 1,200. What goes where? He bought it for 4,500 and he's selling it for 1,200. P is 4,500 and he's selling it for, otherwise the sums are going to work out, because with this negative here, this should be the greater amount and that should be the lesser amount. You must think about it carefully. So you started off with more because it's depreciating into less. Now listen to the question, because I could have done it straightforward like that one again. Given you this one, gave you the interest rate, etc., and asked you what would it be worth. But now you know that in these formulas you've got A and P and I and N. Any one of them can be asked, but not in grade 11 the N, because then you need logs. But in this one, definitely I or N or P or A could be the variable that you're solving. Okay? The question was, what is the annual rate of depreciation if it was done for 3 years? So the question is I. And N is still 3. Are you getting the idea that maybe it's a good idea to always say, what is A? What is P? What is N? And then write down your sum. Because you can't lose marks for doing that. It just gives you a better picture. So now to get your answer, I think we've done equations now until it comes out of our ears. How would we do this sum? First.
Divided by 4,500.
Okay, so 1,200 divided by 4,500. Do you want to write that down? You can. What is 1,200 divided by 4,500? 4 over? Why does it look so strange? It's not strange, it's just the simplest fraction form that there is. But do I need that step?
No.
No? You could have gotten that and then said root 3, answer, and
Plus one
first. That's a minus there.
Plus one first.
If you take the 1 away, it's going to be minus 1, but what's going to be left?
Then you divide it by negative.
So you still have to divide by negative. That's the most important thing that you've got to get from this. So you're going to say divide by, then you're going to say root it, no problem with that. Then you're going to say minus with 1. And if you minus with 1, what are you getting? negative something. And that's your answer for negative I. You don't need to show me that step either, as long as you now remember that this cannot be negative. Can I be negative, interest rates?
No.
Okay. And then please give it to me in decimal form. 11 divided by 15.
35,63.
Okay, let me write it. 63 what? 63 what?
634.
Okay. I want to write it like that just so everybody's on par. That was still a decimal less than 1. Then I still have to go and time it with 100, but you could, like I just did there, leave out a few steps. 6, 3. So the percentage of value depreciation for this printer from 4,500 to depreciate into 1,200 over 3 years, it was a 35% value depreciation per year. And it's still per annum or per year, value depreciation. Right. You're going to do for me, I'll put it on the board.